What's going on, YouTube? Back with another video on the 2022 Grom. This is going to be a video of my opinion of 5 things that Honda got right. Now that I'm back on the Grom, haven't been on it in probably a month and a half, I can kind of get a good feel for the difference between this and my Z125. So number 1, the tire size. 120 front, 130 rear, very stable, not so dippy like the skinnier tires on my Z. I do have a set for my Z125 that I'm upgrading, 130 rear, 110 front. I didn't want to jump 2 sizes on the front rim, wheel, whatever, so I went with a 110. Number 1, stability on the Grom. Seems very firm. You have a good feel for swerving it on the wider tires. The skinnier tires on the Z, very dippy. I love the feeling of the tires on the Grom. So they definitely got that right. For the size of the bike, the tire width to me is perfect. You can go, a lot of people go with I believe a 140 rear. I wouldn't want to go that wide. I think the 130 is perfect, but to each his own. Number 2 is the brakes. My last video, I didn't think the Grom had better brakes. I think I'm just used to my Z125. Now that I'm back on the Grom, it's been about a month and a half. The brakes do feel much more firm, I guess is one way to put it. My brakes on the Z125 are upgraded lines, so I sort of have the same feel. But the brakes are very good on the Grom. I will say that. I think I just forgot because I haven't been on it in so long. Stopping, everything, even with the stock brake lines that this has, everything feels firm. I don't have any issues with that. I'm sure when I do upgrade to the steel core lines, it'll be much better. I still will say they could probably be improved with just upgrading the lines, but they're not bad at all. I have no complaints this time around with the brakes now that I'm back on it. So that's definitely a plus, because for some reason in my head I was thinking they were softer or something, but they're pretty firm brakes. Number 3, I would have to say the gauge cluster. Very readable. Still not a big fan of the digital tack. That's just my preference. I know a lot of new bikes, everything's coming out with it, but I prefer the old style tack. Nonetheless, it works very well, very accurate, probably more accurate than my Z125, being digital. Everything, the gauge, from the gas to the tack, speedometer, what gear you're in, everything's very readable. So they did a very good job there. I haven't really had time to get into the settings and see what else you can see. Like I said, I kind of leave this bike alone. It's my girlfriend's. I bought it for her, so I just don't like really messing with it. And I think I said last video it only had 60 or 70 miles on it. It's got 146 for only having it for 2 months. So that's, other than maybe 8 miles that I've put on it, that's all her practicing. So has more than I thought. Number 4, I'm gonna have to say, is the transmission. Putting a 5-speed on this was probably the best upgrade they could have done. I wish the Z125 would have came out with a 5-speed, but from what I understand in 2023 they're not even listing them anymore, so I don't know if they're doing away with them for good or if they're just taking a year off to revise it. No idea. But the 5-speed transmission, very smooth. I have no issues. I was worried when I first bought this. At first I was going to buy her a Z125 and I was like, well, I have a 2020, I've had 0 issues with it. Let me get her the same bike because it's tried and true for me. A lot of people that were buying the 2022 Grom were complaining of transmission noise in the first like 100 miles. And it's this loud, whining, weird noise. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to deal with that. Everybody's saying that they wouldn't cover it under warranty, and the Honda was just telling them to keep driving it, it'll go away, and I don't like that. When I buy something, I want it to be good from the get-go and not have issues early on. So luckily, so far, this has been good. No issues, no noises whatsoever. The only thing I wish Honda would have improved on with the shifting portion of it is that false neutral feel. I don't like also when you go into first, it's not solid into first. Like the shift lever keeps going down. So it's really a lot of play in there to try to find neutral. Z125, once you're in first, it's solid. That's one major difference, but it's a Honda thing, been forever now. Other than that, I think the sprocket sizes they went to, 1538, is just perfect for the bike. So it works really well. So I'm impressed that they were able to get a 5-speed in here. Doesn't make you any faster, it just lowers the RPMs when you're in 5th gear. And I'm trying to list 5 things maybe not everybody talks about so much. I'm trying to keep it to 5 things that are a personal preference that I like or dislike. But I would have to say my number 5 is going to be something a little odd. The way the tank is set up. My Z125, the cut right here is more back towards my knee, where this gives me plenty of room. So I do like the tank fairing. It's designed very well, gives you a lot of room, super comfortable to ride. I feel like there's more front of the bike than on my Z. I feel more compact on that. Like right at the end of my knees, the tank curves, so you're super tight on it, which kind of is what gives it that mini crotch rocket, I guess, feel. But this has a longer cutout, so very comfortable. I enjoy riding this when I do get on it. I don't feel cramped at all. It's a little bit longer than the Z wheelbase, which I think helps the stability also. And overall, I like the Grom. Like I said, I really love the style of the OG Groms. I kind of wish they would have kept going that direction. But as far as being comfortable on a Grom, I think they nailed it with this. These mirrors are a little dorky. I definitely gotta do some upgrading on this thing for her, but for right now she's just learning how to ride, so it's kind of staying stock at this point. I don't want to mess with the signals or anything where cars can see her, because she needs everything right now stock to be seen as much as possible, because she's still a beginner. The seat, I'm gonna add this in here, the seat is not bad. The stock seat on my Z125 was 100% worse. Very hard. I had to change it immediately. It just sucked. If you rode it for like 45 minutes to an hour, I mean, your ass was hurting. This, I don't know, pretty cushiony. Feels good. I don't mind it so much. Other than that, that's my quick 5 things. Oh, and I want to apologize for not getting 2 videos up by tonight. This one will be up. It's Saturday now. Unfortunately, our governor put a hurricane advisory out, and there's gas stations out of gas already. People are freaking out, buying everything up at the stores. Traffic is chaos. So I kind of had to wait until evening time now to get this ride in, because I'm not trying to go out when everybody's in frantic mode. So I'm gonna try to ride again tomorrow morning. I will have another video going up tomorrow, but I wasn't able to get 2 in today. The beginning of the day was just nuts. We went out, filled our vehicles up, and just came back home because it's just bumper to bumper everywhere. Shit's crazy. People freak out too much. So, other than that, this was my list of 5 things that I believe Honda got right with the Grom. Obviously, a lot of people will disagree. That's fine. This is just my opinion. Other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you all again tomorrow. I'll be going out in the morning to do a ride. Probably be back on the Z on that one. But I'm going to wrap this one up and head home. And I will see you guys tomorrow, Sunday evening. I'll get another video up. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I appreciate everybody who watches, likes, subscribes. I didn't even think my channel would get as much love as it's been getting, even though it's a very small channel. Like I said in the beginning, it's not like I'm looking to make money off it or anything like this. It's more of a documentary of my life. The way I look at things is, if something were to happen to me, my kids have something to look at and be like, wow, this is what Dad, you know, enjoyed doing or whatever. So other than that, I appreciate you all, and until next time.